Gorgeous piano. Nice variety on the progression on the end. Beautiful layering of the voices coming in. Tone of the trumpet. Woo! The range is beautiful. We're going to have a lot to talk about in the second listen. Ooh. Outstanding variety within the progression. Beautiful melodic concepts. So delicate. And now, the use of weight to push the rhythm differently. Wow. Oh, the outro with the melody here. Oh, man, that was so good. I can understand. I did a YouTube post earlier. I think it was either this morning or yesterday, and I said, which song from Silksong should we do? And there was a lot of comments to do this one. I understand why. That was outstanding. I wanted just to get it. Let's go back in a second listen and talk more about it. Immediate emotional response is what an exceptional use. I'm not surprised at all because it's Christopher Larkin. What an exceptional use of a beautiful melody through. Primarily in the beginning, it just really felt more like a groove within the chord progression. At first, I was thinking 3/4, but it feels much more like 6/8. But that pulse kind of that 1, 2 though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That kind of stays with us the whole way through a majority of it. But in the middle, things kind of drop out and we explore. He explores a little bit of different use of the melody over a very similar use of progression though. And it's just enough to be different, but just so beautiful still. Outstanding use of everything though. The tone of the trumpet was just flawless and the range, pure sound. Great use of voices coming in, the amount of strings that happen versus like synth tones, all very, very, very impressive. This is video game music, folks. This is where we're at. It's a good time to be a gamer and a fan of music because this is all very fun. Let's go back and check it out again. That's the groove we get. Bottom, bottom, bum, bum, bum. Like we get that over and over and over. And that kind of sets the basis right away within the first like 5 seconds. It's very clever here too, because it's the way the piano part is being played, which is, you need to praise the musicianship there because it's how delicate and beautifully the melody is woven into the accompaniment, what's going on and how we're outlining the chords. So you have to keep in mind, like when you see those, you put it on paper, it's just the ink. It takes the person to make that ink come to life and to sound like this. One more time on that, just to appreciate how it kind of like envelopes and it weaves a little bit. And there's just a lot of life that is breathed into that. It's just, see how the dynamics kind of like increase and decrease. very, very smart. And then boom, boom, boom. I didn't sing that right, but you understand the variation on the end there to kind of like wrap that sequence around. So if you think about it, it's about 20 seconds worth of that for that phrasing right there. And it's, that sets the tone. You really get it in the first 5 or 6, but in that first 20, we go all the way through the progression. And then there's all kinds of elaboration on top of that as we go. And it's just gorgeous. Vocal entrance feels like light mallet percussion as well. Yeah, tiny little mallet percussion. Excuse me. Maybe a little bit of very, very low glockenspiel as well. But it could all be synth patches too. But the foundation of its use is the same either way. We obviously up an octave. It's the tone, it's the control. You can feel it's such a just a respectable player. It just feels seamless again. And more the bass tone, the bass low end strings and synth sounds snuck in so much that you're paying attention to the trumpet player so much. You're like, oh, the low end of the progression is being filled out there, and it's just wow. Christopher Larkin, folks. Wonderful stuff here. The other part you want to appreciate is the growth, like just the natural crescendo, diminuendo of sounds and tones and chords that establish, grow in volume, and decay away as we make it on to the next part of the phrasing. And yes, that is a very simple concept, but it's something that we lose so much in when you tune out of, it just depends on where you put your ears all the time. But if you're kind of a top 40 person and you kind of listen to one source for music, everything's the same dynamic. It's the same tempo. We don't get really any variation. You just step away a little bit away from that world and you get just, a different envelope where things start happening. And it's much, much more interesting because even the slightest little variations like that, you just allow a chord to be printed. You take that chord, you extend the volume of it, you shrink it back down. Even that simple concept is so interesting. And it should happen more than it does. But when you get into pieces like this, where it's like commonplace, where obviously these composers have a lot more norms and that kind of like, just to make the music elaborate a little bit. So we want to give it praise when it's there. And anyway, let's keep going. The B section here. Exploring variances on that chord progression that we did not have before. Feels very nice because, excuse me, the low end kind of goes away. We have it's very more exposed now where we can hear these moving notes through the progression and it just feels different than any part that we've had so far. Tiniest bit of rubato there. Just pulling back a little bit on time as we go into the next part of the phrase here. Gorgeous. Whoa. For me, it's the melody. I'll say it again. For me, it's the melody right there. That is outstanding writing because what we want to praise right here, at least what I want to praise, is the section that was before it. We already talked about it. The bottom breaks out. We have this ascending figure. It's ascending. It keeps going up, and then it pulls back on tempo a little bit. And then up at the peak, we come in with the high strings, and this new melody takes over with the similar progression that we just had. But it's like a beautiful baton exchange of music that occurs there. And that's where you want to really, really praise composers and the players what's going on because that's just, for me, that's just outstanding. One more time. vocals exposed. Strings start to sneak in. They go away. And now, this is where the weight change. Ooh, ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So the first three partials of the 6/8 grouping have all that weight. It's very cool because speaking as far as the progression goes, this is very familiar material, but we did not organize the distribution of the rhythms like this before. So I'm telling you, it's only 2 minutes and 42 seconds long. It's a very short piece of music, but so much happens within it that is just really very enjoyable to listen to. I'm going back about 9 seconds or so. Now we know we're going to turn around and eventually make our exit out of this. Low note droning. Oh. Isn't that cool? But so you have whoa way down here, just kind of hanging out. And just simple intervals, man. I love it so much. So it just, oh God, this is 2:30. Hold on. Let's go back to like 2:10 and grab that again. That's very, very cool. And it just feels to melt away. That vocal part in the end, we have a little bit of dissonance in there, and then it just resolves out. Man, Christopher Larkin doing great things. I'm glad we did this. I have a lot more. Excuse me. I have a lot more on the list on that YouTube post, but feel free to tell me what else because this feels very good. So I'm excited to definitely do more. My name is DrumRollTony. Catch me when I'm live on Twitch. You can find a link for my socials down in the video description below. Please and thank you. Click the like button. Subscribe to the channel so you can check out the next video. I appreciate you being here. YouTube thinks when I watch one of these two videos next. Have a great day. Take it easy. Bye-bye.